Hello, and welcome to Mrs. Strange, where we explore everything eerie, unexplained, and downright spooky. Today we're exploring a topic that has both terrified and fascinated people for generations: Skinwalkers. Skinwalkers, also known as naaldlooshii in Navajo, they are malevolent witches who can transform into, possess, or disguise themselves as animals. But what exactly are they, and where do these chilling stories come from? Skinwalkers are deeply rooted in the Navajo folklore. They're said to be witches who have gained the power to transform into animals by wearing their skins. This transformation can be into any animal, from wolf to a bear. I recently came back from Utah and Arizona. I explored the Grand Canyon and Zion, and I was around the Navajo people, which is where I purchased this necklace. And before going on my trip, I was very curious about skinwalkers. I knew they existed. I kind of heard them on different spooky podcasts, but I didn't really want to deeply look into it because I was gonna be there and I just didn't want to attract it. I also kind of wish I did see one, but I'm grateful that I didn't, because I'd probably be traumatized. Their abilities don't just stop there. They can't just transform into any animal they wish to, but skinwalkers are believed to have other supernatural powers, such as reading minds, controlling animals, and even inflicting pain on others. In Navajo beliefs, the skinwalkers are considered the antithesis of their values. They perform harmful ceremonies and use manipulative magic. Traditional Navajo people are often reluctant to discuss skinwalker lore with outsiders due to cultural taboos. I'm glad I didn't walk up to any person and be like, "Hey, have you heard of skinwalkers?" Because I would. I'm glad I didn't. However, the concept of skinwalker has permeated popular culture, often depicted in horror fiction and paranormal stories. Many legends describe skinwalkers using their powers for evil, causing fear and mystery within the Navajo communities. There are also numerous modern accounts and reports of skinwalker encounters, often described as eerie and unsettling experiences, which I'm going to share a few stories with you in the end. Before I begin, it is very important to remember the cultural significance of skinwalkers in Navajo tradition. We should approach these stories with respect and understanding, acknowledging the deep-rooted beliefs and values of the Navajo people. Now for the modern stories of skinwalker sightings. The Sherman family's encounter at Skinwalker Ranch. In 1994, Terry and Gwen Sherman purchased a 480-acre ranch in northern Utah, hoping to start a peaceful life away from the hustle and bustle of the city. Little did they know, their new home would become the epicenter of one of the most famous paranormal investigations in modern history. From the moment they moved in, the Shermans experienced a series of bizarre and terrifying events. One of the most chilling encounters occurred one evening when Terry was out walking his dogs. As he strolled through the property, he noticed a large wolf-like creature in the distance. At first, it seemed like an ordinary wolf, but as it approached, Terry realized it was much larger than any wolf he had ever seen. The creatures had glowing red eyes and an unsettling presence. Despite its size, it showed no fear of Terry or his dogs. In an attempt to protect his livestock, Terry shot at the creature with his rifle. To his horror, the bullets seemed to have no effect. The wolf remained unfazed and eventually retreated into the darkness. This encounter was just the beginning. Over the next 18 months, the Shermans reported numerous strange occurrences, including cattle mutilations, unexplained lights in the sky, and mysterious crop circles. The family was so disturbed by these events that they eventually sold the ranch in 1996. The new owners, intrigued by the stories, turned the property into a research hub for paranormal activity, now known as Skinwalker Ranch. To this day, investigators continue to report strange phenomena, making it one of the most studied paranormal hotspots in the world. Encounter 2. The Navajo Policeman's Encounter. In the late 1980s, a Navajo police officer named Johnathan Dover was patrolling a remote area of the Navajo Nation in Arizona. Dover was a seasoned officer with years of experience, but nothing could have prepared him for what he encountered one night. While driving along a desolate road, Dover noticed a figure standing by the side of the road as he approached. He saw that it was tall, gaunt man dressed in ragged clothes. The man had an unsettling presence, and Dover felt a chill run down his spine. He stopped his car and got out to investigate, but as he did, the figure suddenly transformed into a large black dog and ran off into the darkness. Dover was stunned. He had heard stories of skinwalkers from his elders, but he had never believed them until that moment. He quickly got back into his car and drove away, but the experience stayed with him. He later shared his story with his fellow officers, many of whom had their own encounters with skinwalkers. This incident reinforced the belief in skinwalkers among the Navajo police force and added to the lore of these mysterious beings. Encounter number 3. The Utah Campers Encounter. In 2017, a group of friends decided to go camping in the remote wilderness of Utah. They had heard rumors of strange occurrences in the area but dismissed them as mere legends. The first night went by uneventfully, but on the second night, things took a terrifying turn. Around midnight, the campers heard strange noises coming from the woods. It sounded like a mix of animal growls and human screams. Curious and a bit frightened, they decided to investigate. As they ventured deeper into the forest, they saw a figure moving between the trees. It was tall and humanoid, but movement with an unnatural, jerky motion. One of the campers, Jake, shone his flashlight on the figure, revealing a creature with pale skin and glowing eyes. The creature let out a bone-chilling scream and began to move towards them. Panicked, the group ran back to their campsite, but the creature followed them, staying just out of the light's reach. They quickly packed up their gear and left the campsite, driving through the night to get as far away as possible. When they finally reached safety, they shared their story online, warning others about the dangers of the area. Their encounter was later investigated by paranormal researchers who found evidence of strange footprints and other anomalies in the area. If you like unsettling, dark, and spooky content, then make sure to subscribe to stick around, leave a thumbs up, and comment down below if you're curious about anything. I'll make sure to dive deep into it and tell the most terrifying stories I can.